Yes, I consider myself a feminist.
Yes, I do consider myself a feminist.
So I agree with most of the feminist points, but not every single one.
I do consider myself a feminist because the definition of a feminist is equality, total equality between men and women, and that's like not a ridiculous request. I was supporting Planned Parenthood mainly. Also just supporting the advocacy for not just white women, but women of different races and women of different ethnicities and culture, because they are often the ones who aren't represented in feminism.
People who are not from this country's rights, and honestly, human rights. Because I believe like our president has set a really bad example to our generation today and like our kids' generation. And I want to be in a world that's like, I want to be safe when I'm walking in the streets, and I don't want like a man to be like, ooh, like catcall me and stuff. I think it's just, and I think Donald Trump is supporting that, and he obviously doesn't care about women's rights.
She did push you, pushed a lot of people, but what is it with you and Megyn Kelly?
Well, I just don't respect her as a journalist. I have no respect for her. I don't think she's very good. I think she's highly overrated. So I have, she gets out and she starts asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions. And
when I was marching, I was thinking about not just women in America, but women all over the world, because in America, we're struggling for equal pay and reproductive rights, but all around the world, women are struggling just for rights to show their face in public, or not have to be slaves to their husband in arranged marriages and forced pregnancies. And I was just thinking about how women need to stick together in order to overcome these things.
My recent experience with feminism is from October 2016. I'm from Poland, and as of 2015, we chose a new president. And as of October 2016, there was a law pushed to not allow women to have abortions, and that they would be fined and jailed, possibly for it, even if they had a miscarriage.
I also have heard about women that are homeless and they have to go into anywhere they can find, like public, like restaurants and bathrooms, and just grab napkins. That's not okay. We need to have like programs and people who will help.
I went to the Women's March because Sophia, my friend, brought it up on a group chat that I'm in with her, and she was talking about her and her sister go every year, and I thought how since all this stuff happening with Donald Trump and the rising sexism and hearing constant sexist comments in my class because they happen to think it's okay because there's media coverage of our president saying it.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
only Rosie O'Donnell.
Well, Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. When you look at her and when you see the mind is weak. I don't see it. I mean, I'd look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired.
I went to the Women's March for my mom, for my sisters, for women who aren't represented. I hate Donald Trump. I went because it's a good cause, and women are constantly underrated, and just their issues are always kicked to the curb and always shoveled on their backs, and a lot of the issues are not women's. They shouldn't be. It's not a woman's fault that she's paid less.
I went to the Women's March because I wanted to fight that women's rights are also human's rights, because our president should be like an example for like the kids going to school, and like what, you know, the president said this today, and I think the right things, but like he's been saying these terrible nonsense.
Interview last week in Rolling Stone magazine, Donald Trump said the following about you, quote, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?"